All right, Parashat Terumah. Before we start Parashat Terumah, all the information is right here behind us. Get in touch with us, look into us, ask questions. We're always willing and eager to help. So do not hesitate and ask. It's also for Refuah Shlema of the people that we have up there on the board. Let me just go quickly. And they are Aryeh ben Aziza, Gedaya Borel, Matilda, Moshe Yaakov ben Shendel, Tamar, Sarah ben Tzia, Yitzchak Isaac ben Fega, and Batya by Shendel, if I'm not mistaken, or Basia, should I say. So, Parashat Terumah. We learned a few weeks ago, more than that, when we were doing Halachot Talmud Torah and the Shulchan Aruch, and then we moved to Halachot Tzedakah, we learned that there's a very interesting halakha regarding who are you allowed to or not allowed to teach Torah. We always thought that, everybody comes to learn, you teach them like this, no problem, right away, b'chavod, sit down. But no, this is not the case. Very interesting, and I'm going to go to the Rambam, that Rambam Halachot Talmud Torah in Perek Daled, says the following: En melamdin Torah, ela letalmid hagun, na'eh b'ma'asav. We don't teach Torah unless the person is a talmid. He wants to learn. Is a talmid? First of all, he wants to learn. He doesn't just want to come and ask questions. He wants to learn. Hagun. He's decent, and his actions as well. Hagun b'ma'asav. Or letam. Unless the person doesn't know anything, a simpleton. He doesn't know anything. That's the person we teach. Aval, but im haya olech bederech lo tova. If he was going off the derech, he wasn't doing the right thing. He was doing things he wasn't supposed to be doing. Machazirin oto lamutav. We help him fix his ways. Umanigim oto bederech yeshara. And then we guide him on the proper way. We teach him and then we guide him. Ubotkin oto. And then we check to make sure that he is really, on page with us. ואחר כך מכניסים אותו לבית המדרש ומלמדים אותו. And only after that we bring him to Bet Medrash and we allow him to learn Torah. Take that, Lubavitch. Right? It's not anybody called Dechvini, Teve Yifsach here. You have to make sure, and we'll have to see why. Chachamim says, Amru Chachamim, Kol hashonel letalmid she'eino hagun, he who teaches an inappropriate student, in other words, his actions are not good, ki'ilu zarak even lemarkulis. Markulis was a type of an idol worshipping, back in the day, where the way to worship it was to take a rock and to throw it. Some people in the world do it today also, spin around rocks and then they throw rocks. But that's a type of avodah zarah. So if a person teaches Torah to a person who is not appropriate, it's like you are bringing a offering to avodah zarah. We are very concerned what this person is going to do later on from that. So it's very interesting what the Rambam writes here, and then he raises us a question regarding maybe a similar story which we find in the bracha. We find in the Gemara in Masechet Brachot in Dav Chaf Aleph regarding Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel was a tremendous sage, and however he got into argument with some of his chevra, and they impeached him from his crown. And he was, Rabban Gamliel was the Nasi, and they says, Habibi, Mr. Nasi, step down, we don't want you. The Gemara says, Silku leShomer, and the day that they so-called impeached Rabban Gamliel from his position, they removed the Shomer HaPetach. Shomer HaPetach was a bouncer. Rabban Gamliel put a bouncer in Bet HaMidrash, וניתנה להם רשות לתלמידים להיכנס. And everybody, open the gates, everybody is running in. Why? שהיה רבן גמליאל מכריז ואומר, רבן גמליאל used to announce, כל תלמיד, any student, שאין תוכו כברו, לא ייכנס. ייכנס לבית המדרש. Whoa, that's a statement here. Rabban Gamliel says any student that his insides are not what he's saying, right? Don't enter here. I don't want you here. That's a very, very harsh statement. Very harsh statement. So, when you look very carefully at the words of the Rambam, you see that the story of Rabban Gamliel and the Rambam, even though they look similar, they're not really the same. The Talmid, according to the Rambam, that we don't allow to learn and we don't allow to enter Bet HaMidrash, is not the same type of a person in which Rabban Gamliel is referring to. The Rambam is talking about a person that is doing the wrong things. Rabban Gamliel talks about a different person. Talks about a person that he says one thing in his mouth and it means something else in his heart. Basically, Rabban Gamliel would not allow any politician in his Bet Midrash. You guys are not for me. I like guys like that. Gamliel I like it. It inspires me. However, let's look at this way, and we try to maybe explain to it. What does it mean? He's saying here two things. Kol talmid she'en tocho kevaro, that his inside, his heart, is not what he's saying in his mouth, don't enter. In other words, there are a few opportunities here. Let's open let's see the options that we have. Open the parentheses and see what we get here in terms of that. Now, so first option that we have tochover kevaro, inside and outside. They call it inside and outside. His heart and his mouth are equal. A person like this, they're equal. If it's good, if it's for good, he means in his heart well, and he speaks the truth. So this person is a tzaddik, right? If they're equal, in other words, he means bad and he says bad, so therefore he's a rasha gamur, right? So we have these two extremes. However, we have those things in the middle. And in the middle we're going to have two options. One, that his external actions would be good and his internal would be bad, and the other way around. So which one is we talking about? What's going on here? Is this the same? So 3 out of those 4 opportunities, right? There's no machloket whatsoever regarding if they could enter Bet HaMidrash or not a Bet HaMidrash, right? And whoever is a tzaddik gamur, right? There was not a problem whatsoever. It's tzaddik gamur b'chavod. Here is the door. Please sit down and learn, and so on and so forth. And everybody would agree that will be like this. A rasha gamur. Also, everybody would agree that a rasha gamur, a person who is a completely wicked man, also doesn't enter the Bet HaMidrash. On a person like this, it says in Tehillim, Tehillim Nun, Pasuk Tet Zayin, it says, Ve'lerasha amar, and to the wicked man, he says, Elokim, ma lecha lesaper chukai v'tisat briti al pecha. Well, Kadosh Baruch Hu said to him, what my Torah is doing in your mouth? No, I don't need it. Don't learn. Right? All of a sudden, we became missionaries. Right? We're like everybody in. Excuse me also how much check you're writing me. And it's a nice check, I don't need your word. I don't need your Torah. I don't need it. Kadosh Baruch Hu says to that. And that is because it says in Sefer Hosea, it says, Yesharim darkei Hashem. The paths of Hashem are yeshar, they're straight. Tzadikim yilchu bo. Righteous men are able to walk. Rashaim ikashlu bo. It's a mind-boggling statement. If you're a tzaddik, you learn Torah, you succeed. If you're rasha, you're going in the derech of Torah, you'll fail.
What's ikashlu mean?
What?
What's ikashlu mean?
Ikashlu. Ikashlu means to stumble, to fall, to fail. Kishalon is a failure. So a tzaddik will succeed, a rasha will fail. Kind of contradicting the statement that we have in the Gemara, Or sheba machziran mutav. Apparently that's not. Apparently the Or shel the Torah, the light in the Torah, that helps people to become Choser B'Teshuvah does not refer to people like that. Does not. Because he's going to fail. It's a very deep and very bothersome concept, but Hosea, man, he's a prophet. Can't argue with that. But in regarding the other ones, when there's no equilibrium here between the externalism and the internalism of the Talmid, we have to understand what is the positive side of the Talmid and what is the negative side of the Talmid, or the student. Now, what does it mean? According to this outlook, the Rambam made his psak. He says you're not allowed to bring inside Bet HaMidrash only a person that his external behavior is negative. Even though inside he's appropriate, his heart is clean, but he's acting in a bad way. So a person like this, we teach him how to do it externally the same way. But and this is only after we machzir oto b'tshuva and we teach him and manhigim oto b'derech and we check him and so on and so forth. But on the other one, on this case, by the way, I don't think the Rabban Gamliel and the Rambam are disagreeing. They will both agree. They will both agree that he cannot enter, but if he fixes his ways, he can enter. And a person like this, there is hope for him. So on that also they're not cholek. I think, if I may say, the difference in concept between Rabban Gamliel and the Rambam will come on a person whose actions are good. Externally, he's doing the right thing. Externally, he's doing the right thing, but his inside is negative. Outside, he's a nice guy. He puts tefillin on. He does the right thing. He talks the talk. But he ain't walking no walk here. His inside is bad. So a person like this should go in or should not go in? Because the Rambam says the other way around. We don't let him, and then we let him in. Or then we teach him. A person like this, that his internal world is blemished and is negative. Rabotai, negativity is horrible. Negativity is bad. Negative people are bad. Negativity is bad. You want to do yourself a favor? There's many things you can do yourself a favor. Many things. Stay away from negative people. I didn't say bad people. I said negative people. Bad people, everybody knows to stay away from. Right? If let's say, for example, a guy comes to you, right, and he's a drug dealer, right? He's a pusher, a drug dealer. I don't want to do with you. If I just walk next to you, they're going to put me for 24 hours. I don't want to do with you. That you know to stay away from. But how about a person who is negative? You'll be surprised if you're going to take a nice look around you, how many negative people are around you, and they quietly entering their venom inside of you to the point that you become infected with the negativity as well. It's a very, very big problem nowadays. Everything that we have outside is negative. The news are negative, this is negative, everything is negative. And that has an effect on us. And I'm going to show you how does Be'ezrat Hashem, how does this have an effect on us, and how is it connected to our parasha. Belinda, you'll see. A person like this, there is a great danger to him. We are concerned that he's going to go in, he's going to be able to learn Torah, and you'll be surprised, and that's why Rabban Gamliel, I think, meant. That's what Rabban Gamliel meant. A person like this might go in and might actually be successful. Hey, he knows how to say the words. He knows how, he knows how to speak the lingo of Torah. And by the way, there are a lot of people who are very impressed with the lingo. When people just spew words, but there's nothing behind them, no action whatsoever. They know how to say the words, they know how to quote things, how to reference the point. Rabban Gamliel did not like people like this. There's a great danger in people like this. Because a person like that, even if his matzliach is in the Torah, Chazal already knew this disease, and Chazal said to us the following: Kol Talmid Chacham, any Talmid Chacham. How did he become a Talmid Chacham? He learned Torah, he knows a lot of Torah, but Kol Talmid Chacham she'en tocho kebaro, eino Talmid Chacham. Wait a minute, that's a contradiction. Every wise man who is not equally internally balanced is not a wise man. Okay? It doesn't make sense. Here Chazal is telling us something. The guy is a Talmid Chacham. You'll ask him, is this person Talmid Chacham? Yes. Is this person Talmid Chacham? Yes. Is this person Talmid Chacham? Everybody will tell you, yes. Yes, he's a Talmid Chacham. But Chazal don't fall to this trap, because they were afterward, they were Chazal, Not for nothing, they were Chazal. They said, this guy might know a lot of Torah, but because his inside is not as his outside, he says, Echad b'peh ve'echad b'lev, one in the heart, one in the mouth. As far as we are concerned, Chazal say, he does not have a din of a Talmid Chacham. So you see from here something very important. It's not just how much Torah you know, it's how much you allow the Torah to penetrate inside of you. That's what Rabban Gamliel says. We don't want anybody like this, right? So therefore, a person like this falls also under the statement that says in Tehillim, "Vela Rasha Amar," to the wicked man, he says, "What's my Torah doing in your mouth?" Even a person like that, he also falls in this category. Therefore, a person that he's like that, his external behavior is so-called good, right? We could count on maybe we could count on the spiritual influence of the Torah to change them and so on and so forth. And maybe a person like this can switch from bad to good. I'll tell you the truth. I've been contemplating a lot lately on some basic things. For example, Cinderella, where you been? You ran out of battery. Let's see, the plug is here. See, he didn't charge himself. Chef, תאכל קצת sushi. I was wondering, what is the thought? What is my thought when I say I'm thinking? What does it mean? When people say something spiritual, what does it mean, spiritual? What does spiritual mean? Mystics, what does it mean? I know it's the relations of man and God and so on and so forth, but what does it really mean? So many times we also miss the real hashpa'ah ruchanit of the Torah because we don't know what ruchniyut is, what spirituality is. We are not people of ruach. We are people who are completely imbalanced. And when you live an imbalanced life, you're not going to be able to achieve true spirituality. There's great danger in that. That you might even distort it and drag people behind you. You have to be balanced and you have to be responsible. And being balanced and responsible, that means in all aspects of your life. The Chinese in martial arts, they say something very interesting. One of the things that they do is they balance on one leg. Let's say, I've seen a guy like this. It's crazy. He takes a brick. He turns the brick on the narrow side. He stands on it with his toes in this position like this, like that, legs stretched out like that. Better than I'm standing on two legs. The idea behind this is the correlation between the spiritual and the physical. If I am not spiritually balanced, I would be externally imbalanced as well. If I'll be balanced inside, I'll be balanced outside. But I can't be the other way around. People think, for example, and I'm talking about something so pathetic as martial arts. I mean, not in comparison with Torah. But people don't understand. People think martial arts is all about physicality. Well, how strong you are. This is not UFC. We're not talking about Ronda Rousey here. We're talking about something that's completely different. True martial arts is 90% spiritual, 10% physical. Not the other way around. Not the other way around. At the highest level of martial arts, you'll be fighting against your own self, your whole inner self. Because there's a battle going on there. And a person like this is imbalanced. And when a person is imbalanced, it's great danger. Could cause an avalanche. Take after him many people. And we have to be very, very careful. So therefore, the Rambam writes, and another person, the Rambam writes, Tam. Tam means he's complete, he's simpleton. As the Kesef Mishnah says, who is Tam? Utalmid she'en barur lanu im hu tov o lo tov. Who is Tam? According to the Kesef Mishnah is Maran Bet Yosef, it says a person that we're not quite sure if he is good or bad. Somebody like that. And he connected that to the da'at of Chachamim. Now you understand, Tam, Ma'u Omer. All these questions, if you take these concepts and develop it a little further, you can really make delights out of the 4 sons in the Torah. Here there are 4 different Talmidim. Here there are the 4 sons of the Torah. You can see exactly which one is which. So a person like this, the case of Mishnah says, based on Chachamim, is he says a person like this, they remove the bouncer from the door. Why? In order to allow a person who is not clear to us if it's good or bad to also elevate himself in Torah, to give him a chance to elevate in Torah. Rabban Gamliel says, no, I only want the people who are, I don't have time for the rest. And that brings us a little bit, so have this in mind. Because that brings us to the building of the Mishkan, which we have in this parasha. If you look at all the lists, yeah, that's for you, Yonatan, especially for you. If you look at the list, it looks like a list of upscale Home Depot shopping list, something like this. All these things and the measurement, some kind of like a buying like that. But there's one word there in the whole entire instruction of the Mishkan that is key to understand the whole concept behind it. And the word is 32. What is 32? Gematria, Lev. Lev. Let's just make a little parenthesis here. Lev, 32, refers to the 32 Sha'arei Binah in which the world was created. If you want to look further, please feel free to take Sefer Yetzirah and read it by Aryeh Kaplan. You understand what I'm saying. That's why we have 32 teeth in our mouth. And it's enough. Now, quite in the beginning of the parasha, the Torah emphasizes to us that the Terumah, giving the donation, and that has to do with the halachot tzedakah that we're learning, cannot be done what we call mi'apeh lachutz. Word out. In other words, the Terumah, the donation, has to be what we call avodat halev. How? Me'et kol ish asher yidavenu libo tikchu et terumati. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you're going to take my Terumah not based on what the guy is giving you. If the guy really means to give it to you. Kol asher yidavenu libo. Then you can take my Terumah. If he's giving it to show off for his neighbors, Don't take it. I don't want it. Libo, his heart. Further down at the parasha of the Mishkan, again we have this whole concept. We're talking about Betzalel, we're talking about Chochmat Alev, and so on and so forth. And Chazal says on that, Rachmana liba ba'eh. In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is asking, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu really wants is your heart behind it, not just your actions. And that's why I tell you a million times. When you do what you do mitzvot, you do this, why are you doing them? You do your mitzvot because you have to, or you do the mitzvot because you want to. You keep Shabbat because you want to, or because you have to. You're eating kosher and keeping Tarat HaMishpacha because you don't want to be burned in I don't know what, or because the Torah says, I want to do that. If you want to do that, hey, that's not a problem. I've never seen a person who wants to do something and the actual action of the doing is a problem for him. It's only a problem for you when you don't want to do it. When you're coming to me and you're asking me a question, do I really have to do it? No, find me a way. It means you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it and you're only doing so because you have to, but you really don't want to. And sometimes you think that I'm very difficult, and I'm so-called being deliberately difficult to you, but believe me, I really mean that. I don't understand. The Torah says, this is what the Torah said. You know? And I'm trying to be very careful in being, hello, I'm trying to be very, как дела, товарищ? Слава Богу. בכבוד. Okay. שהכל good. I'm trying to be very, very careful when it comes to things like that, to really do things because the Torah told me that. I'm not trying to cut corners. I'm not trying to, that's what the Torah says. Because the most important thing is the heart. Because that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. When I do V'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, only because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is watching me. If he was not watching me, I'm not going to like him. What kind of a mahalach is this? Excuse me, this kind of action is called being a hypocrite. And I asked you this before, and I'll ask you this again. And that's something that you should ask yourself. If a heavenly voice comes down and tells us, Rabotai, my dear Jews, my name is Hashem. And I'm going to tell you this. No olam haba for you. No more olam haba. Olam haba is out for renovation. Only olam hazeh. However, I want you to keep on doing my mitzvot. But do you know? No olam haba. No heaven below us. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Nothing. No olam haba. Are you going to keep mitzvot? HaKadosh Baruch Hu will tell you. You want to eat chazir? Eat chazir. I'm asking you not to eat chazir. Pig. Would you eat it? Would you keep the mitzvot to the same level in which you hopefully keeping it now? Would you get up every morning to put filling on? Would you clean your house for Pesach? Would you sit down and learn Torah? Not because there's no olam haba, guys. There's no olam haba. It's only if you want to, you can do it. Would you? If the answer is, well, most of it, but some no, you have a big problem. And I'll tell you, I don't think there's a better way to live life than the life of Torah, even if there's no olam haba. There's no way better to live life than that. It gives you meaning in your life. It gives you discipline in your life. It's the way to live life. But that's a question I answer myself for myself. Are you brave enough to ask the question to yourself? You should ask this question to yourself to see where you're holding in your Avodat Hashem. If you would tell yourself, only one time, Rabbi, one time, I want to eat a little lobster with a little cognac. Not kosher. One time. After that, I'll keep kosher. Just one time. No good. You know something is bad in you. You know that you're doing the mitzvot not 100% to the level in which you could have done the mitzvot. And that's a very tough question to ask. And that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us. And so is in the building of the Mishkan. This is not only in doing the Mishkan, this is regarding any kind of doing avodah, any kind of anything that's to do with the public, or doing a national mission. You're doing something for the people. Are you doing so for what? Are you doing, I'll give you an example. You should really read some Jewish history. You should really know it. Read some Jewish history. You should, if you would read it, you would see that during the 1948 War of Israel, War of Independence, the influx of veterans from America to Israel to help, and some of them died there, volunteered. They finished the war with the Nazis. They're going to help the people in Israel. They're thinking about themselves. As Jews, I have to do it. What do we do? We do this today? Would any of us leave their jobs and would sacrifice their lives or put their life in danger to help Chas v'Shalom people in Israel if we need it? Goodness, nobody would. Therefore, we know we have a problem in Avodat Hashem. When you're doing your melacha in Bet HaKnesset, you're a gabbai, or whatever you are you doing the melacha, melechet shamayim? If you call it melechet shamayim, you're doing so because you want to, that's called melechet shamayim, because becomes Avodat HaKodesh. If you're doing so for yourself, I want to become now big presidente of the shul, you're not doing the right thing. If you are a rabbi, are you a rabbi of the people? Are you there to serve the people? Or are you there for the people to serve you? Ask yourself this question. Is this thing that you do here, being a rabbi or teacher, is this considered to you Avodat Hashem, that you do willing to do Mesirut Nefesh? Or is just a job for you to make money? Because if it's just a job for you, please take your stuff and go somewhere else. We don't want you here. To be in a job like this, you're building a Mishkan. V'asuli Mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Amongst you, even when there's no Bet HaMikdash, Asuli Mikdash, and I would dwell among them. Every time they're going to sanctify themselves and dedicate their actions to Shamayim, is like they're building Bet HaMikdash. Is considered to be Avodat HaKodesh. And when you're doing your Avodat HaKodesh, you are like a Kohen. And sometimes you could be like a Kohen Gadol. I'm not a Kohen, I'm Israel. But sometimes I could be like a Kohen Gadol if I would work with such clarity and cleanness of the heart and the mind. I'll be like a Kohen Gadol. In the Shamayim, in the spiritual world, things are different than who they are here. Do we understand that? Are we willing to understand that? Are we willing to do that? That's a very, very difficult question. And here the parasha tells us that this kind of dedication would guarantee the success of the mission that you're at. If you are donating money for the shul, let's say you're a millionaire. You want to build the shul? Not a problem. How much is the shul? $5 million, $10 million. Guys, nobody spends anything everything on me. You know, Chachamim says, no, you're not going to do this. It's not right for one person to. Everybody needs to give something. Because it's a place for everybody. When you are giving, there's a machloket. Le'alacha. If a person has a lot of money, should he give all the money for one big cause? It's machloket between the Rambam and Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. Should one big cause, or he should give it to many different causes? The Rambam says to many. Why? Because the Rambam says every time you put your hand in your pocket and you take something out of it, you are changing. You're fixing yourself. Because you can say, I build a shul. Guess what? Here's a shul. How much you say? $5 million. Go $10 million. Leave me alone with you this. I don't want to do it. I did my share. I'm ready. Coming with a carpet. No, Rabotai. The red carpet comes when you put your hands in your pocket. There's another $1. And so when the schnorrers come, they're knocking on your door. They're doing you a favor, because every time they don't bother you, you don't understand. You put your hand in your pocket, you give him the $1, you fix yourself. Another shell is coming out of you. More light is coming from within. You're becoming clean, you become more appropriate to learn, to deserve the title of a Jew. And that's what he says, Vayikhu li Terumah, they take Terumah, and then he says, Tikhu et Terumati, you should take my Terumah from who? From every person who is nidvo libo, his heart, he wanted to give it from his heart. And we know what we say, that Betzalel, when he did the avodah, the holier or the purer the giving, the further in it was in the Mishkan. When a person gave gold and he says, please, Bechavod, I want to. So they say, Mr. So-and-so gave 20 kilos of gold, everybody. Wow, and he's, I feel good. Good, okay, what are you going to do? I'm going to put something in the Mishkan, but outside. A person says, a woman comes, I only have one pair of earrings and a necklace that my husband gave me from his grandmother. I don't have anything, but please take this. He said, wait, inside, Kodesh HaKodashim, that goes. In Kodesh HaKodashim, pure. Please don't mention my name. I don't want to mention my name. So before you give money and you put big plex on the wall with your name all over so they could see it with a satellite, you better think. You better think. Hashem knows who gave it. Hashem knows who you give it to. Why would you take a billboard? Take a billboard on the Jersey Turnpike, right? I'm a big guy, I'll give a lot of tzedakah, please guys, red carpet, blah, blah, blah. Take a billboard, a lot of people will see it, it's very nice. Mashiach is coming. But that's not how we do things in Judaism. And this is all to tell us that the ikar of the Terumah, the essence of Terumah, is really dependent on the heart and in your free will, Rabotai. It's very important. My free will, I do it because I want to. A person is not allowed to be mitbatel from the mitzvah or mitbatel from the Terumah. But how you're going to give it, you have to give it. You have to give tzedakah. You have to. But how you're going to give it, nobody's telling you how to give it. It's up to you. That's your free choice. And that's your attitude behind it. Do you want to donate? Do you want to help carrying the burden? Or you just want to give it to throw things behind you so you don't have to do so. Baruch shepetaranu. I don't want this anymore. I'll tell you a secret. Okay, the whole world will know the secret, but I'll tell you the secret. When my boys became bar mitzvah, I did not say Baruch shepetarani miyosho shel zeh. Every Jew says, I didn't say it. Because I didn't want the part of me being responsible for the education of my children to end at 13. It's not a burden for me to raise the kids. Oh Hashem, I was very lucky to have kids. 3 boys became bar mitzvah. I'm a lucky man. I don't want to be Baruch Shepetaranu. Baruch Shepetaranu, thank God we got rid of this. They say in Yiddish, good riddance. You know, I don't want the good riddance. Baruch Hashem, I have a chance. Maybe I learn with them. They become big, become Talmidei Chachamim, you know, and so on and so forth. So, and that's what it is. Terumah, giving Terumah, or giving tzedakah, and so on and so forth, is not just a physical action it's just I take $1 and you give something like this, but it's also a mental process of awareness. It's a spiritual process of awareness of giving to somebody else, giving for myself to somebody else. You can be, you know, I like to say, don't care. I don't care. Say shalom alecha nafshi. I don't care. Machpat li, I don't care. Not my problem. His problem. Not my problem. You can't do it like this. You can't just also give him. Take it, yalla, get rid of it. As we learn with the halachot. You have to give it nice. You have to sever panim yafot. You have to be nice to him, to show him, to understand his suffering. And even if you don't have money, the halakha tells us, explain to him, do you understand how difficult, but right now you don't have money. Have some compassion to him. Show him your true heart, the Jewish heart. The Jewish heart is a jewel. If you understand you have a Jewish heart, you don't need rings on your finger. We'll tell this to your kalot when you get married. Have a Jewish heart, you know. You don't need jewelry. This is your jewelry when you're able to discover and reveal that heart. Chazal made us the statement, and right after that, Rashi says something. He says one word on the essence of Terumah, the Jewish Terumah. As Chazal says to us in many other places, it says, "Vaikhuli Terumah li leshmi," for my sake, for my name. For my name, Le'emor. The Terumah has to be given from the heart in a willing neshama, a willing soul, for the cause in which it was created. In other words, you give in tzedakah not for you, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu who gave you the opportunity, and for the person who needs it. So it's not about you. It's about giving. It's about letting go. And Jewish Terumah, as we say, you know, and you see the contribution of Jews in the world, building hospitals. All over this country, they build hospitals. Anywhere the Jews go, by the way, they build hospitals. They give, they give, they give, they give, they give. They have a good heart to give. And that heart, we need to bring back again. We need to be involved. We can't stay ignorant to the pain and the suffering of others. We have to cleanse our heart to be able to be willing to learn Torah. Because that's also tzedakah, as we said, tzedakah matchila bebayit. Tzedakah starts at home. And the biggest tzedakah in which you could do to yourself is to learn Torah. That's why if your heart is no good, you can't learn Torah. And if you can't learn Torah, you don't know what to do. Today's Bet HaMikdash is Bet HaMidrash. Today's Bet HaMikdash is Bet HaMidrash. We substitute for now Bet HaMikdash to Bet HaMidrash. And a person needs to be Bar Lev, Neki Kapayim, or Bar Levav. A person needs to be with clean hands and a shining heart. You can't stand in front of Hashem like this. And if there are people that we can help but we are doubt, we should help them. And we should bring them closer. But if you see people who are wicked, you got to be very careful and hanging around them. And wicked not necessarily means, as we saw, not necessarily mean, you know, ISIS kind of a people, Chaz v'Shalom. There are no Jews like that, by the way. But we're talking about people who externally are good, but internally are bad. On that, Chazal told us, never hang around kat tzvuim, hypocrites. Never hang around them. And we have to be very careful. A lot of things are happening now in the world. Where are we going to hide? What are we going to do? Everything is dependent on our actions, on the cleanness of the heart. If we are not going to clean our hearts, if we're not going to be willing to give, if we're not going to understand that whatever happens in the world to the Jews is mainly because of the Jews, because we lost our protection, and that's the protection is the Jewish heart, the willingness to give, to clean, to be compassionate, to feel the pain and the misery. And we can't afford this anymore. If somebody needs help, help him. Because that's what Hashem says. Don't worry about your olam haba. I mean, to a certain extent. Don't worry, I get a big mitzvah. One time I heard somebody I know was telling his wife, he made 3 shidduchim. So he told his wife on the 3rd shidduch, he said, honey, don't worry about it. We have a red carpet waiting for us, olam haba. They're going to roll it up when we get there. Just don't know what happens, and we made another shidduch. You don't make shidduchim because you want a carpet in olam haba. What happens if you're allergic to carpets, dust? I'm allergic to carpets. You're making shidduchim to help people. Not because you want to get a reward for it. Le'olam, never. Worship Hashem, ke'eved, like slaves, al menat lekabel pas, in order to get a reward. Do it because you want to. Do it because that's the thing to do. You want to build a Mishkan? Because it's like this. You see a book, a sefer, out of place. Somebody took a siddur, left it on the table. Take it, put it back. Somebody left a cup, pick it up, put it away. But we are less than more than Yeshua. Not Yeshua. Yeshua bin Nun. Yeshua bin Nun was a big guy, man. He's hanging out with Moshe in the mountain. He was cleaning out the Bet Medrash, fixing the chairs, putting the books away. But he could do it and I can't? Wow, on the contrary, I want to be like him. I don't want to be like Mike. I want to be like Yeshua. Put the books away. Care. You see somebody is trying to pull a fast one on you. Say, excuse me. Fix yourself, please. Don't give me rhetorical questions. Questions here and being a demagogue. We don't fall for this. It's time to action, Rabotai. Time to action. Stop talking and start doing. In Judaism, it's not only if you can talk the talk and you can walk the walk. Right? Ledaber velalechet is also, can you do the do? It's also maasim. So it's dibur in Judaism, dibur, asiyah, והליכה. ללכת בדרכי השם, לעשות את השם, and like this. The heart is going to be clean, and it's going to be the heart aligned with the mouth, and aligned with your hands. I'm going to not only mean certain things, I'm going to mean them, I'm going to say the same words, and my actions are going to be aligned with that as well. Rabotai, gotta be careful. So you know what to do. And we need help here. This is an endeavor of everybody. It is a responsibility of our communities to enhance Torah. Not only here, everywhere. Ubemakom she'en ish she'yeh ish. If nobody's doing that, well, whatever you are, start doing it. Start making a group. If you don't know how to read Gemara, not a problem. Arrange a Bible study group in your house. Analyze it. If you can't read the commentators, well, read it to the best of your ability. Somebody needs to do it before we're going to lose a lot of our people, and we cannot afford this to happen. Torah needs to be enhanced. We need to build. Now it's the time to build the Mikdash, the Mishkan, and the Mikdash is in Beit HaMedrash. So Torah has to be spread, and we're going to build it. We're going to, Be'ezrat Hashem, if you do so, you're going to be Betzalel, you're going to be Moshe, and you're going to be Yehoshua. So Rabotai, time to act, time to be clean, and don't say anything that you don't mean. Shabbat Shalom.